John Lennon and Paul McCartney stand as the most successful songwriting partnership in the history of music, not only in terms of chart dominance, record sales, and cultural reach, but in something far less measurable: artistic impact. Their songs have become woven into the fabric of modern life, quoted, covered, and rediscovered by every new generation. Recounting their collective achievements would be redundant at best and overwhelming at worst. The world already knows what Lennon and McCartney accomplished together. What is less frequently discussed, however, is why they worked so well together. Beyond talent, timing, and luck, the true engine behind the Beatles' success lay in the stark contrast between Lennon and McCartney themselves. Their opposing personalities, instincts, and creative impulses didn't merely coexist, they collided, merged, and ultimately shaped the most influential musical partnership of all time. At a glance, John Lennon and Paul McCartney could not have been more different. McCartney was outwardly cheerful, diplomatic, and disciplined. He understood the value of presentation and professionalism and seemed comfortable playing the role of global pop icon. He enjoyed structure, embraced collaboration, and believed deeply in craftsmanship. Lennon, on the other hand, was restless, confrontational, and deeply skeptical of authority, including his own fame. He gravitated toward emotional rawness, irony, and rebellion, often speaking bluntly regardless of consequence. Where McCartney was inclined to smooth edges, Lennon preferred to expose them. Where McCartney sought melody and polish, Lennon chased honesty, even when it was uncomfortable. Yet rather than undermining each other, these differences created a powerful creative balance. Each man compensated for the other's weaknesses, pulling the partnership toward a center neither could reach alone. Within the Beatles' catalog, a general consensus has long existed. McCartney was the stronger all-around musician, while Lennon possessed a more instinctive gift for language and emotional expression. This dynamic was observed firsthand by producer George Martin, whose role placed him inside the creative process at every critical moment. In The Beatles, the authorized biography, Martin noted that McCartney was constantly pushing himself as a lyricist, driven in large part by Lennon's natural ability with words. Lennon's presence forced McCartney to dig deeper, to move beyond pleasant love songs and into more complex emotional territory. According to Martin, without Lennon's influence, McCartney may never have written something as stark and character-driven as Eleanor Rigby. But the influence flowed in both directions. If Lennon elevated McCartney's lyrical ambition, McCartney anchored Lennon's productivity. Martin observed that McCartney thrived on structure, deadlines, and the presence of an audience. Lennon did not. Lennon wrote primarily for himself and was prone to losing interest or abandoning ideas. Left unchecked, his brilliance could dissolve into inertia. McCartney's relentless work ethic, attention to detail, and insistence on completion often turned Lennon's fragments into finished masterpieces. This creative tension became one of the Beatles' greatest strengths. Lennon pushed McCartney toward emotional risk and lyrical depth. McCartney pushed Lennon toward discipline, refinement, and musical exploration. Even their competitiveness served a purpose. Each wanted to impress the other, and that quiet rivalry frequently resulted in better songs. Rather than tearing the partnership apart, their differences sharpened it. After the Beatles disbanded, both Lennon and McCartney went on to carve out highly successful solo careers. Yet their post-Beatles work also revealed how much each had relied on the other. Lennon's solo music leaned heavily into confession, protest, and personal truth. McCartney's focused on melody, versatility, and musical craftsmanship. Both were effective, but neither quite captured the balance that existed when their opposing instincts were in constant dialogue. In the end, the Lennon-McCartney partnership defies any attempt to crown a single most talented Beatle. Their greatness was not individual, it was shared. Lennon taught McCartney to be braver. McCartney taught Lennon to be steadier. Together, they became something neither could have been alone. As George Martin understood better than anyone, the Beatles were not powered solely by genius, but by contrast, collaboration, and mutual transformation. It was the friction between Lennon and McCartney, their differences as much as their similarities, that sparked a musical revolution and changed the course of popular music forever.